Ekushe, Shohid Dibosh and International Mother Language Day tomorrow. President and Prime Minister lead the nation in paying tribute to the language martyrs at Central Shohid Minar at 1:01 tonight. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina distributes Ekushe Padok 2024 among 21 eminent individuals for their contributions to various fields. Bangalis achieve everything in exchange of sacrifice. Whenever there is a blow, Bangalis refute it, says Prime Minister.
জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান তিনি উদ্যোগ নিয়েছিলেন মাতৃভাষাকে রক্ষার জন্য সংগ্রাম পরিষদ গড়ে তোলেন এবং আন্দোলন শুরু করেন। সেই আন্দোলনের পথ দিয়েই কিন্তু আমরা আমাদের স্বাধিকার আদায় করেছি, আমরা স্বাধীনতা পেয়েছি।
Government fixes price of 1 litre soybean oil at Taka 163, reducing Taka 10 per litre loose oil at Taka 149 with effect from March 1. Government will not impede peaceful programs of BNP, but there will be obstacles if it turns violent, says Obaidul Qadir. US vetoes UN Security Council resolution calling for temporary ceasefire in Gaza. And Chattogram Challengers beat Khulna Tigers by 65 runs in BPL in Chattogram. Assalamu alaikum, this is Shongit Ahmed welcoming you all to News at 10. Those were the headlines, and now on to the rest of the news.
আপনি চাকরি করেন, আপনার মায়না দেয় ওই গরিব কৃষক, আপনার মায়না দেয় ওই গরিব শ্রমিক, আপনার সংসার চলে ওই টাকায়, আমি গাড়ি চলি ওই টাকায়। ওদের সম্মান করে কথা বলেন, ওদের ইজ্জত করে কথা বলেন, ওরাই মালিক।
The nation is set to pay glowing tributes to language martyrs on Omor Ekushe tomorrow, marking the Shohid Dibosh and the International Mother Language Day with due respect. On the day of the 21st February 1952, Salam, Jabbar, Shofiq, Borkut and Rafiq embraced martyrdom in police firing in front of the Dhaka Medical College Hospital, and they took to the streets, defying Section 144 to intensify the campaign to establish Bangla as the state language. UNESCO recognized the 21st of February as the International Mother Language Day in 1999. President Mohammad Shahbuddin and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina have issued separate messages paying glowing tributes to the martyrs of the historic language movement. In his message, President Mohammad Shahbuddin called for proper practice and preservation of the Bangla language and culture. The spirit of Omor Ekushe is the incessant source of inspiration for protecting your own language and culture of the people of different languages across the world, he said. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, in her message, extended her sincere greetings to the people of all languages and cultures of the world, including Bangla, on the occasion of the Great Martyrs' Day and International Mother Language Day 2024. Both the President and the Premier will lead the nation to pay respects to the language martyrs by placing wreath at the Central Shohid Minar at 1:01 In observance of the day, the Central Shohid Minar premises has been decorated with paintings, graffiti, buntings and selected verses on the mother language. Different political, social, cultural and professional bodies, including the ruling Awami League, have taken various programs, including cultural functions, to observe the Omor Ekushe in a befitting manner. The national flags will be kept half-mast at all buildings of the government, semi-government, autonomous and private organizations and educational institutions. The day is a public holiday. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has distributed Ekushe Padok 2024 among 21 eminent individuals on the occasion of the Omor Ekushe and the International Mother Language Day in recognition of their contributions to the various fields. The Premier handed over the Ekushe Padok, the second highest civilian award in Bangladesh, at a program at Osmani Memorial Auditorium as chief guest, organized by the Ministry of Cultural Affairs. This year, 2 persons got the award in the language movement category, while 1 in making documentation on the Liberation War, 11 in Shilpokola, and 2 in social service, 1 in education, and 4 in language and literature. Speaking on the occasion, the Premier urged the country's people to move ahead with head high, as Ekush taught us not to bow the head down. The Prime Minister said that father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, not only gave freedom but also gave sense of dignity to the people of Bangladesh. The head of the government says they want to build the country's people as educated, knowledgeable, skilled in science and technology.
সবথেকে বড় দুঃখের কথা হলো ভাষা আন্দোলনে জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবের যে অবদান, সেই ভাষা আন্দোলনের যে ইতিহাস, তার থেকেও কিন্তু জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবের নামটা মুছে ফেলার চেষ্টা করা হয়েছিল। আপনারা জানা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবের অসমাপ্ত আত্মজীবনী পড়েছেন, সেখানে দেখবেন সেখানে কিন্তু সেই ভাষা আন্দোলনে তার অংশগ্রহণের কথা লেখা আছে। আজকে আমি অন্তত এইটুকু দাবি করতে পারি, আবার বাঙালি বিশ্বের দরবারে এখন মাথা উঁচু করে চলতে পারে, সেই মর্যাদা আমরা ফিরিয়ে এনেছি। আর এই মর্যাদা আমাদেরকে সমুন্নত রেখেই আগামী দিনে এগিয়ে যেতে হবে, কারো কাছে হাত পেতে নয়, ধিক্কার করে নয়। আমরা আত্মমর্যাদা নিয়ে বিশ্ব দরবারে মাথা উঁচু করে চলবো, কারণ একুশ আমাদের শিখিয়েছে মাথা নত না করা। আর সেই আমরা মাথা নত করে আর চলবো না, মাথা উঁচু করেই চলবো।
Cabinet Secretary Mohammad Mahbub Hussain conducted the award-giving ceremony and read out the citation of the awardees, while Cultural Affairs Secretary Khalil Ahmed presided over the program. Bangladesh and Ghana agreed to enhance trade and commerce between the two countries for mutual benefit. The consensus came when visiting Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of the Republic of Ghana, Shirley Ayorkor Bochwe, called on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at Ganobhavan this evening. The Prime Minister's speechwriter M. Nazrul Islam briefed the reporters after the call-on. He said that both identified agriculture, pharmaceuticals, ICT, agro-based food products, jute and jute products, and textile items for the trade enhancement. Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of the Republic of Ghana, Shirley Ayorkor Bochwe, conveyed the greetings of the Ghanaian President to the Prime Minister for her re-election. She mentioned that the bilateral engagement of the two countries are increasing gradually. There is ample scope to enhance the trade and commerce between the two countries, she said. She sought Bangladesh's support for her country's candidature in the upcoming Commonwealth Secretary-General election to be held in October. This time, the SG will be elected from African countries. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina also put emphasis on enhancing trade and commerce with the African countries, saying that there is huge possibilities to improve trade. In this connection, she mentioned about jute and jute products and textile items. African countries can import these items from Bangladesh, she said. Talking about the Commonwealth, Sheikh Hasina said that once upon a time this organization was inactive, but recently it has been activated and playing a strong role in the investment and human resource training, she said. The Prime Minister put emphasis on electing an able leadership for the Secretary-General post. Ambassador at Large M. Ziauddin and Principal Secretary M. Tofazal Hossain Mia were present at the meeting. President Mohammad Shahabuddin urged Spanish investors to invest in different sectors, including the special economic zones in Bangladesh. The President made the call when newly appointed Ambassador of Spain to Bangladesh, Gabriel Maria Sistiaga Ochoa de Chinchetru, presented his credentials to him at Bangabhavan this noon. On arrival at the Bangabhavan, the new envoy was given a guard of honor by a smart contingent of the President's Guard Regiment. Welcoming the new ambassador, President Mohammad Shahabuddin said the existing bilateral ties between Bangladesh and Spain is very good and progressing. Appreciating the Spanish investment in Bangladesh, the President said Spain is one of Bangladesh's export destinations. President Mohammad Shahabuddin hoped that the mutual relations between the two countries would expand in various sectors in the days to come. During the meeting, the new Spanish envoy sought the President's cooperation in discharging his duties. President's Office Secretary Shamput Borua, Military Secretary Major General S.M. Salahuddin Islam, Press Secretary Mohammad Joinal Abedin and Secretary Attached Mohammad Wahidul Islam Khan and officials of the Foreign Ministry were present. The government has reduced the price of bottled soybean oil by 10 taka per litre to 163 taka. At the same time, the price of loose soybean oil has been fixed at 149 taka per litre. The reduced price will be effective from March 1. State Minister for Commerce Ahsanul Islam made the announcement after a meeting of the task force to review commodity prices and market situation at the Secretariat today. The State Minister said the reduced price of soybean oil on the occasion of Ramadan will bring a lot of relief to the consumers.
163 টাকা যে প্রাইসটা ছিল 173 টাকা এবং লুজ পর্যায়ে সর্বোচ্চ মূল্য থাকবে হলো 149 টাকা এবং 5 লিটারের যে বোতল সেটা 800 টাকায় বিক্রি হবে। আমরা এই বাজার মূল্যটা পয়লা মার্চ থেকে আমরা ইনশাআল্লাহ ওনাদের সহযোগিতায় কার্যকরী করব।
The government will not obstruct BNP's peaceful programs. However, elements that stoke violence are not acceptable, said Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir. He was speaking at a press conference at Awami League President's office at Dhanmondi in the capital today.
Moin Khan যান মার্কিন দূতাবাসে, সেখানে গিয়ে নালিশ করেন মানবাধিকার নেই, গণতন্ত্র নেই। এ হচ্ছে আমাদের প্রধান বিরোধী দলের অবস্থা। 54 পার্টি অ্যালায়েন্স করেছিল, এখন কে কোথায় কেউ জানে। 54টা দল নিয়ে তারা সরকার বিরোধী ঐক্যজোট করেছে, এর মধ্যে সমমনাও আছে। এই ঐক্যজোটের শরিকরা এখন কোথায় বিএনপি নেতাদের কাছে আমি জানতে চাই। সে ঐক্য কোথায়, সেই জগা খিচুড়ি জোট কোথায়, কোনোটারই তো অস্তিত্ব নেই। সরকারের ঘাড়ে দোষ দিয়ে পার পাওয়া যাবে।
Obaidul Qadir said, having no grounds for movement, BNP is now doing the politics of blame game and complaining to foreign embassies against the country.
তৎপরতা, সন্ত্রাস, অগ্নি সন্ত্রাস, এইসব উপাদান যদি আন্দোলনে যুক্ত হয় তাহলে সেখানে বাধা আসবে। আর তারা যদি শান্তিপূর্ণ রাজনৈতিক কর্মসূচি দিয়ে এগিয়ে যায়, সেখানে আমরা বাধা দেব কেন?
Awami League Organizing Secretaries B.M. Mozammel Haq, S.M. Kamal Hussain, Mirza Azam and Abu Said Al-Mahmoud Shopan, among central leaders of Awami League, were present at the press conference. Foreign Minister and Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood said BNP leaders Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir and Amir Khusru Mahmood Chaudhary are now talking inconsistently as the entire world shows eagerness to work with the government of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. He said the current government is stronger than any previous government. Dr. Hassan Mahmood said leaders of BNP are now facing questions from activists of the party for not taking part in the election. The minister was addressing the biennial general meeting of the Dhaka Union of Journalists, or DUJ, at the Jatiya Press Club today. President of the DUJ, Sohail Haidar Chaudhary, presided over the function. Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood said those who hatched conspiracies to foil the election turned pale with frustration as the world leaders and the United Nations greeted the government.
ষড়যন্ত্র করেছিল
নির্বাচন প্রতিহত করার জন্য অপচেষ্টা চালিয়েছিল, তারা ভেবেছিল নির্বাচনের পরে বিশ্ববাসীর কি প্রতিক্রিয়া দেয় সেটার জন্য অপেক্ষা করছে। আপনারা জেনে খুশি হবেন, প্রত্যেকটি দেশের সরকার প্রধান কিংবা রাষ্ট্রপ্রধান মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীকে অভিনন্দন জানিয়েছে এবং মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর নেতৃত্বে নতুন সরকার গঠিত হয়েছে যেটি সেটির সাথে কাজ করার অভিজ্ঞতা এবং জাতিসংঘ, কমনওয়েলথ, ওআইসি সহ পৃথিবীর 20টি আন্তর্জাতিক প্রতিষ্ঠান সংস্থা মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীকে অভিনন্দন জানিয়েছে। তাই তারা আশা করেছে যে এই সরকার সাথে বিশ্ববাসীর কি প্রতিক্রিয়া, এই অভিনন্দন বার্তা এবং তাদের অভিপ্রায় বিভিন্ন দেশের সরকার এবং রাষ্ট্রপ্রধান প্রকাশ করার পর তাদের চেহারাটা প্রকাশের লাগে।
Meanwhile, visiting Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration Minister of Ghana, Shirley Ayorkar-Bochwe, held a meeting with Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood today. The Ghanaian Foreign Minister highly appreciated the development and progress of Bangladesh and expressed her eagerness to work with the government. During the meeting, various issues related to bilateral interests, including expansion of trade, agriculture, health services, were discussed. Export orders worth 392 crore taka were received and products worth about 400 crore taka were sold in this year's Dhaka International Trade Fair. The Export Promotion Bureau disclosed this at the closing ceremony of the fair held at the Bangabandhu Bangladesh-China Friendship Exhibition Center Auditorium in Purvachal today. Speaking as the chief guest at the closing ceremony, State Minister for Commerce Ahsanul Islam said, "There are big buyers of Bangladesh products in different countries of the world. It will not take long for the export to exceed $100 billion, if possible to export diversified products from Bangladesh," he added. Later, the trophies and certificates were distributed to the best pavilions, stalls and organizations selected in different categories participating in the fair. The government has approved 2 crore 3 lakh taka from Bangladesh Journalists Welfare Trust for distribution among 263 journalists and their families. The welfare grant has been approved under the second phase of the fiscal year 2023-24 from the Journalists Welfare Trust. State Minister for Information and Broadcasting Mohammad Ali Arafat signed the file today. Checks for this welfare grant will be distributed to the journalists soon. Early in the first phase of the current fiscal year, a grant of 1 crore 89 lakh taka, 50,000 taka, was given in favor of 236 journalists and journalists' families. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina established the Bangladesh Journalists Welfare Trust in 2014 for the welfare of the journalists. And now international news. The US has vetoed UN Security Council resolution from Algeria calling for ceasefire in Gaza. However, the US has proposed a draft resolution at the UN Security Council which calls for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. It has also warned Israel against invading the overcrowded city of Rafah. The US has previously avoided the word ceasefire during UN votes on the war, but President Joe Biden has made similar comments. More than 1 million displaced Palestinians, who represent about half of Gaza's population, are crammed into Rafah after being forced to seek shelter there. The southern city, which borders Egypt, was home to only 250,000 people before the war. Many of the displaced are living in makeshift shelters or tents in squalid conditions with scarce access to safe drinking water or food. The UN has issued its own warning that a planned Israeli offensive in the city could lead to a slaughter. Oral proceedings continue at the International Court of Justice, ICJ, on the legal consequences of Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories. South Africa, Algeria, Saudi Arabia, the Netherlands, Bangladesh and Belgium presented early arguments. More than 50 states, at least 3 international organizations will address judges at the United Nations top court until February 26. Earlier on Monday, Palestinian representatives presented their arguments on legal consequences of Israel's occupation of the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza Strip. Israel is not attending the hearing, but sent a 5-page written statement saying an advisory opinion would be harmful to attempts to resolve the conflict because questions posed by the UN General Assembly are prejudiced. And now news on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said rain or thunder showers accompanied by temporary gusty wind is likely to occur at 1 or 2 places over Mymensingh, Dhaka, Khulna, Borishal, Sylhet divisions and the regions of Kumilla and Noakhali. Night temperature may rise by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius and day temperature may fall slightly over the country, said Met Office. And now news on sports. Chattogram Challengers beat Khulna Tigers by 65 runs in the first match of the day of BPL in Chattogram today. Batting first, Chattogram scored 192 runs for 4 wickets with Tanjeed Hassan's 116 of 65 balls. In reply, Khulna were bowled out for 127 runs in 19 overs, 5 balls. Tanjeed Hassan was adjudged man of the match. And before we end, the headlines once again. Omor Ekushe Shohid Dibosh and the International Mother Language Day tomorrow. President and Prime Minister to lead the nation in paying tribute to language martyrs at Central Shohid Minar at 1:01 hour tonight. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina distributes Ekushe Padok 2024 among 21 eminent individuals for their contributions to various fields. Bengalis achieve everything in exchange of sacrifice. Whenever there is a blow, Bengalis refute it, says Prime Minister. Government fixes price of 1 litre soybean oil at Taka 163, reducing Taka 10 per litre. Loose oil at Taka 149 with effect from March 1. The government will not impede peaceful programs of BNP, but there will be obstacles if it turns violent, says Obaidul Qadir. The US vetoes UN Security Council resolution calling for temporary ceasefire in Gaza. And Chattogram Challengers beat Khulna Tigers by 65 runs in BPL in Chattogram. That's all from us for the moment, and thank you for staying with us. We invite you to watch our 11:30 Bangla News. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.